Hello everyone, welcome to the Frame Game. Sadly, sometimes actors pass away before they get to see their best movie on the big screen. Some were even busy filming lots of different projects when it happened. A few actors have even been nominated for Oscars for their acting in those movies, even after they died. And believe it or not, some actors have even won Oscars after they passed away.
Heath Ledger has left us an original and enduring legacy.
Here are 10 actors who didn't live to see their most acclaimed movie released. Number 10, Heath Ledger won Best Supporting Actor posthumously. Actor Heath Ledger passed away in January 2008 when he was only 28 years old. This was several months before the movie The Dark Knight came out. Even though he wasn't alive to see it, Ledger won an Oscar for his amazing performance as the Joker in the movie.
And the Oscar goes to Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight.
Number 9, Philip Seymour Hoffman died while filming Mockingjay Part 2. Actor Philip Seymour Hoffman worked on movies for a long time. Sadly, he died in 2014 at age 46 from accidentally taking too much drugs. He was almost done filming a part in a movie called The Hunger Games: Mockingjay Part 2 when he passed away. The first part of the movie came out in 2014 after he died. To finish the second part, which came out in 2015, they used someone else to stand in for him in the scenes they couldn't film with him.
I wanna get you on a slow boat to China.
Number 8, Paul Walker's performance was partly done using his brothers as body doubles. Paul Walker was famous for being Brian O'Connor in the Fast and Furious movies. He died in a car crash in 2013, unfortunately before the 7th movie was finished. To finish the movie, they used his brothers as stand-ins and special effects to film some scenes. Paul won an award with his friend Vin Diesel, who played Dominic Toretto, for their acting in the 6th movie. He even won another award after he died for being a great action movie star.
Hey, thought you could leave without saying goodbye.
Number 7, Phil Hartman was tragically murdered by his wife. Phil Hartman was a hilarious actor on Saturday Night Live for many years and even won an award for his work. He was also very talented at using his voice. Sadly, he died in 1998. He did voice acting for cartoons, including Gigi the Cat in Kiki's Delivery Service, and even designed album covers for bands before becoming famous.
All right, boys. Let's stop in here for a second. I'm a little parched from the jog.
Number 6, Bruce Lee died shortly before Enter the Dragon was released. Bruce Lee was a super martial artist who was about to be a huge movie star. But really sadly, he died young at 32 in 1973. He was even filming a movie called Game of Death when it happened, and it took them ages, 5 years, to finish because they hadn't filmed much yet. The month before he died, his best movie, Enter the Dragon, came out. Even though he wasn't there to see it, it became a super hit.
Well, it's bad to say the best, but in my opinion, I think Kung Fu is pretty good.
Number 5, Brandon Lee meets a similar fate as his father. Like father, like son. Bruce Lee, the amazing martial artist, had a son named Brandon who seemed to inherit his talent. Sadly, Bruce Lee died when Brandon was young. Brandon even refused to play his dad in a movie because he felt it would be weird. Just like his dad's career was cut short, Brandon's life was a tragedy too. An accident while filming a movie called The Crow with a fake gun that malfunctioned took his life at a young age of 28. The movie was almost finished, just 8 days of filming left. Even though Brandon wasn't around to see it, The Crow became a big hit.
Or at least in a different fashion, would have gotten, were I not his son. and I'm very grateful for that.
Number 4, several of James Dean's films were released posthumously. James Dean was a bright but brief star in Hollywood. He tragically died in a car crash at just 24 years old in 1955. Even though his acting career only lasted 5 years, he was incredibly popular. He was actually the first actor to ever get nominated for an Oscar after he died, and that happened twice of his roles in the movies East of Eden and Giant. Rebel Without a Cause, his most famous film, came out just a few months before his death.
You know something?
No, what?
You read too many comic books.
Number 3, Clark Gable and his co-star Marilyn Monroe died months apart. Clark Gable was a Hollywood legend, sometimes even called the King of Hollywood because of all his famous movies. You might know him best as Red Butler in Gone with the Wind. He also starred in a movie with Marilyn Monroe called The Misfits, which turned out to be their last film ever. Sadly, Clark Gable passed away from a heart attack just a few months before The Misfits came out in 1960 at the age of 59.
Bonnie, I'm going to take you on a long trip to fairyland.
Where?
Number 2, Oliver Reed had a long career in Hollywood before his death. Oliver Reed was a well-known actor before his untimely death in 1999 at the age of 61. He is remembered for playing Athos in the movies The Three Musketeers and The Four Musketeers. Tragically, he died of a heart attack in Malta while filming Gladiator, where he played Antonius Proximo. Even though he wasn't around to see the final movie, his performance earned him a BAFTA Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor.
Learn from me. I wasn't the best because I killed quickly. I was the best because the crowd loved me. In the crowd, and you'll win your freedom.
Number 1, Adrienne Shelly was also tragically murdered. Adrienne Shelly's story is another heartbreaking one on this list. She was a talented actress, writer, and director who was sadly murdered at the young age of 40 in November 2006.
Somebody's agreed to let me make a movie again that never fails to surprise me and delight me.
The police initially thought it was a suicide, but luckily something didn't seem right and they investigated further. Thankfully, her incredible work lived on. Her movie Waitress, which she wrote, starred in, and directed, was actually released in 2007, the year after her death. The movie was a hit and even won awards. Waitress' story was so powerful that it was later turned into a successful Broadway musical in 2016 with music and lyrics by singer Sarah Bareilles and starring Jesse Muller.
I hate my husband pie.
I don't think we can write that on the menu board, huh?